Alvin, over here. You've been through this before. This is third or fourth time that you've taken over a team mid-season. Just how much does that prepare you for what's about to happen and how you can move forward with the team mid-season?
Well, I think all situations are different, but obviously, it's something that I've gone through with other franchises, and it's the same thing. Obviously, it's a change of coaching, and basically, there's not a whole lot that's going to change from the standpoint of what we're trying to accomplish or what we're trying to do. It's just getting the players, to perform at a higher level, and then obviously finding a way to complete games.
Coach Gentry, based on your history coming in, not to say you're the cleanup guy, what's your approach to this particular squad? Because you've been here, from the beginning. Your rotation, player development. What's your approach going into this game?
Well, I think number one, we have to try to get back to where we were at the start of the season. I thought we were playing really good basketball, and preseason we had some good moments and stuff. So, but I think what we have to do is get back to that level of play, and then, as I said, finding a way to complete the game. Coming up with stops, but then also coming up with the rebound to complete the possession, and I think that's going to be important.
Coach, talking to De'Aaron earlier today, he talked about how he put a lot of the emphasis on the players and how he doesn't expect, a whole overhaul of changes. How difficult does that make the situation for you? There is a little bit of continuity because you've been here, but do you identify things that can change in the immediacy with this team?
Well, I think what De'Aaron said is pretty important. That changing the coach is not going to change everything, really. I think you have to have a level of play that's going to get you wins, and a lot of that comes from the players. There's not anything. We're not going to come in as a staff and completely overhaul everything that we've been doing, because I think what we've been doing it was something that everybody agreed upon as a coaching staff, and it's stuff that we believe in. And so for us, it's just a matter of getting the players to perform at a higher level, and a level, like I said, that will eventually equate into wins.
Hi, Coach. Steve Lard, CBS 13. This team has not been to the postseason in 15 years. Do you believe that it's become part of the franchise's identity?
As far as this staff, we haven't been to the playoff in 3 years. And I think that's where the emphasis goes, that we have to think about how we can get into the playoffs or play in games or whatever. But, I don't know if it's fair to look back 15 years from ago, because none of us was here, none of us was involved in that. So what we have to do is that we have to look in the mirror for the last 2 years and figure out how we can then change the culture or change what we need to in order to get to the playoffs or get to a play-in game or whatever right now. I think it's, we could look back to, Chris Webber and that thing and say, boy, we were really good then. So, I think we need to try to stay in the present, in the present, and by that I mean let's look back at what happened, when we've been here. I wasn't here but for the last 2 years, and I think there was some good basketball played. Obviously, when you take a look around at some of it. I mean, when I was at New Orleans, I thought that we were basically battling these guys for a chance to be in the playoffs. Obviously, before the bubble and the pandemic hit, so. There's a lot of positive that I think is still here. We got some good pieces here, and what we have to do is that we have to try to find a way to mold all those pieces into something productive so that we can have an opportunity to maybe be a playoff team.
Hey, Alvin, we heard you and Monty both mention getting back to how the team was playing in those first 9 games. To you, what's the difference between that initial stretch and what we've seen after that?
I think we have to, number one, pick up the pace. I think that, we start games off with pace, and for some reason it seems to decrease later in the game, and we've got to keep that level of pace throughout the 48 minutes. I think that we were also doing a very good job of rebounding the basketball and getting out and running. So we got to rebound it a little bit better. And then I think the one thing that have kind of hurt us is that we hadn't finished possessions, and by that I think we've had good defensive possessions, and then we've given up second shots, and obviously offensive rebounds and second chance points don't allow you an opportunity to get out and run. So we've got to kind of shore that up and do a much better job in that area.
Hi, Alvin. Were there any areas where maybe you saw things differently than what you guys have been doing? I know there are lots of similarities probably, but will we see any differences in terms of like who you're starting, who's in your rotation, anything stylistically?
Oh, I think that, we've had guys in and out of the lineup, and I think that's, we'll still continue that. But as far as the philosophy of what we had, Luke and I sat down when I got here, and we mapped out what we thought we had to do from an offensive standpoint and defensive standpoint. So there was nothing that ever happened here that I disagreed with. Did we have discussions and talk things out? And yeah, we did that. But there was not anything. This is not, as I said when I sat down, this is not about making mass changes or changing philosophies or anything like this. This is, I think we've got good systems in place. So I think what we have to do is that we have to, have our players perform better, and I've got to be better, and all the other coaches has to be better, and our players has to be better. Yeah, I think it's a group thing. I think what De'Aaron said is very true, is that it doesn't fall on one person where we are right now. It's the collective group, and I think as long as we understand that and we stay together, we still have an opportunity to accomplish what we set out to at the start of the season, and that's to find a way to get ourselves in playoff contention.
Yeah, Alvin, I know you've known Luke for a long time. Just what was that conversation like with him, and sort of the handing off here?
Very positive. I think it was very positive, and I think anybody that know Luke Walton know the type of human being that he is, and a dear friend of mine, and will always be a good friend of mine. So it was nothing negative about it. Nor did he say anything negative about it.
Alvin, Monty said in his press conference that he thinks the way this team is built, that they can be the fastest team in the league. And I know you've had success with pace and being a fast-paced team. Entering today at like 8th, is that something that you're focusing on to try and speed this team up? And if so, kind of how do you do that mid-season? Because I know it's difficult.
I think that's a good question. And yeah, I think we do have to speed up the pace and be consistent with the pace from the standpoint of I think our biggest asset is our speed. We have the fastest guy in the NBA in, De'Aaron Fox. We have, Ty, who with his long, lanky steps is very effective in the open court. And obviously, Davion is he played that way at Baylor, and, and he's had his moments with us here, and will continue to get better at it. And so, yeah, I think that when we run and we get in the open court, and we have guys that can make shots. Obviously, Buddy is one of the premier shooters in the league, and so when we play on an open court, I think we're a much better team, and that's what we'll try to do. That's what we tried to do from day one. So we have to find a way to make sure that that's happening over a consistent basis.
Alvin, whether it was Miami, Phoenix, or any of the other places that you've taken over mid-stroke, mid-season, what are some of the things that you've found that have been successful whether it be in the long term or short term, and being able to kind of stop the hemorrhaging and get things going in the right direction?
Well, I think anytime you get in a situation where, you're losing games and you're losing consecutive games, it seemed to bring tension into the situation. I think one of the things that we'll try to do here, and I've done in other places, that I think you got to lighten up and you got to enjoy playing. I think to me the most important thing is that we're in a really, really unique situation. Everybody in the NBA, really, we've got it pretty damn good if you ask me. So I think you got to take all of that away and go back to thinking, how did I, play, and how did I enjoy this game when all of this wasn't attached to it. And I think that's the best way to kind of get back to ground zero and have everybody enjoy playing. You can enjoy playing and it can be fun, and you still can compete at a really, really high level. I mean, I saw it happen at Golden State, so, the pressure's there to win, but you still got to find a way to enjoy the game of basketball. To me, it's the greatest game there is, so, rather than put extra pressure on yourself to do certain things, enjoy it and go back, and just understand that when you look in the mirror after the game that night, if you've competed as hard as you could and done everything you could to be the best teammate, then that's all that I would ever ask of any player.
Alvin, just kind of following up on that question from Mark, is this situation completely unique, or are there similarities to what you've experienced before in your past in taking over a team?
Well, I think there's always going to be some similarities, simply because, it's really kind of the same situation. Someone is relieved of their duties and you take over. I've had it the other way also, where I've been relieved of my duties and somebody's taken over. So, excuse me, as I said, all of them are unique in their own way, but I think obviously there are some similarities.
Just one question, and I'm not trying to single out anybody because I do have questions about other players, but one specific. De'Aaron Fox, just want to get your thoughts on, his play in the first 17 games, and you think it can get better?
Well, I think all the players can get better. As I said, I think everybody can do some things. Obviously, De'Aaron is an extremely, extremely important guy on our team. I think he's had really good moments, and I think he's struggled some. But in general, I don't have any doubt that he'll get back to the level where he was last year. And I think last year he was an exceptional player in this league. They did a lot of things, and our goal is to get him back to there. And I think his goal is also to get back to there. So, as I said, we want everybody to play better. We want all the coaches to coach better, and I think as long as we have that as a common goal, we'll get to where we want to get to.
Alvin, one more for you, sir. I wonder, when you were done in New Orleans, I mean, you've seen everything in this league, you've done everything in this league. Did you have clarity at that time as to whether or not you wanted to be a head coach again? And then when the organization made the choice they made the other day, was it a no-brainer for you to embrace this position? Did you have to chew on it? What was your process like?
Well, I came here with the intentions of, helping Luke as much as I possibly could. Didn't really think about the head coaching situation or anything like that, or the head coaching situation with any other team. I was here simply because I thought I could to help Luke along. And when something like this happened, it makes you feel extremely bad, really, because I felt like I failed Luke by not being able to help in some way that this thing kept going. So didn't really think about, well, boy, where's my next head coaching job's going to come from? Like you said, I've done it 6 times now, and all of them has been different situation, and some of them have been very positive, and some of them have not been so positive. So I just felt like that, this is a situation where, hopefully I can step in and help in a way where we can accomplish what we set out to. And, we have 65 games left in the season, so, that's a lot of games, and it still allow us a situation where we can accomplish what our initial goals were, and that is to set out and try to find a way to play ourselves in a playoff situation. All right.